The governors of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut band together to make sure travelers from coronavirus hotspots don't bring the virus back here.
Today, they issued a travel advisory effective midnight tonight. CBS 2's Lisa Rozner live for us at the Port Authority bus terminal with these new details. Lisa?
Well, Christine, this advisory means that if you travel to our area from a state with a high number of coronavirus cases, you are required to quarantine for 14 days. Now, a lot of this is on personal responsibility. That means transit hubs like here at the bus terminal, no one will be here checking IDs. But if you are caught violating this advisory, the fines are steep.
You violate the quarantine, you will then have to do mandatory quarantine and you'll be fined.
Governor Andrew Cuomo warning anyone traveling to New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut from states where 10% of those tested for coronavirus come up positive on a 7-day rolling average. Joined via video conference by New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy and Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont, he said currently there's around 10 states the advisory applies to, including Florida, North Carolina, and Texas. If arriving after midnight, they must quarantine for 14 days or face anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 in fines. Governor Cuomo explained how people might get caught.
You go to a business meeting and somebody says, "Didn't you just come from Florida? Aren't you from Florida?" "Yes, I am." And they drop an email or make a phone call. Now you have an issue. You get pulled over by a police officer. "Oh, you're a Florida license. When did you get here?" Can't lie because he can look it up. The Port Authority has all the records.
Each state is responsible for its own enforcement, but police will not be checking licenses at the border or collecting quarantine addresses from domestic travelers at airports.
Seems like it's an honor system until you get caught or called out. I mean, other states like Florida, they make travelers fill out paperwork with their address, or Hawaii, and then check in on them.
You could argue that every law is the honor system until you get caught, right? You can speed in a car until you get caught, and then you get penalized. So that's almost any law.
New York State Senate Republican leader Rob Ort is criticizing Cuomo for previously proclaiming that any restrictions on travel for New Yorkers would be an act of civil war. He's calling for this kind of decision-making to be put in the hands of the legislature, saying this draconian policy means anyone traveling for a business conference to a state on his list will be forced to quarantine, or anyone who made vacation plans will too.
Now, I reached out to the interstate bus companies that operate here, as well as major airlines. This was actually news to most, but JetBlue did get back to me and tell me they will waive penalties for anyone that wants to change their flight. We are live in Midtown. Lisa Rozner, CBS 2 News.